Sign up to the SBR Network and use your free daily bet points to earn real-world prizes. Click on the page and start winning now.
Hi, welcome to SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are continuing our coverage of spring training in Major League Baseball, taking a look at some team snapshots for the upcoming 2014 Major League Baseball season with Doug Upstone, SBR contributor. Doug, thanks for being back with us.
Hey, Peter, my pleasure to be back. Today we're going to take a second look and final look at the San Diego Padres, along with taking our first look at the Cincinnati Reds.
Okay, sounds good. So today is March 2nd, so, things could change by opening day, but let's start with Cincinnati. Cincinnati, last year they were number 16 in the money standings. They were about an average bet in baseball, slightly unprofitable. The big dip was the big factor there was the dip in their bullpen ratings. 2 years ago, of course, they had the top-ranked bullpen in all of baseball, despite playing their home games in a hitter's park. Last year, they were number 8 overall, which is still pretty good. But just in general, all the research that I've been doing is not too high on Cincinnati. They haven't made many moves in the offseason. Most of the returning guys are being projected for worse stats, and they lost Shin-Soo Choo. So, if the bullpen continues to decline, they don't improve on offense, they don't have Choo, I'm thinking maybe the Reds are going to be a good fade, at least in the early part of the season. What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree with you, Peter, on that. They've won 90-plus games in 3 of the last 4 years, and they went to the postseason in each situation. But the loss of Choo is going to be big, and their win total last look was down to 84.5. So I think that's going to be a problem because they don't have anybody at the top of the order that's really going to be able to replace him. Last year he had a on-base percentage, I believe, of .432 and hit 21 home runs. And even though this Billy Hamilton looks like a really young, fine player with just awesome speed, the problem is he can't hit. He just doesn't have much of a bat, and he's a super thin guy. So it looks like he could get busted with hard stuff, and that changes the whole dynamic of the top of the order in their offense, especially with Joey Votto and Jay Bruce coming up.
Yeah, and then what about their pitching staff? If their bullpen takes another dip and they go down to middle of the pack, maybe ranked 15th or 16th to bullpen ERA, that'll really hurt them in terms of their betting value because they don't have the offense to make up for it, right?
Exactly, yeah, because I think among the keys there, their starting staff was pretty solid, across the board. And Johnny Cueto, obviously is expected to return back to full health after last year's injuries. And Matt Latos is a stud, we know that. Having Sean Marshall is a big key for them, though, in their bullpen because he can be a great setup man in the seventh inning, in the seventh inning and or the eighth inning, depending upon the batting order. So getting him back is also big because obviously Aroldis Chapman, he's about as good as a shutdown closer as there is in baseball these days.
Yeah, I mean, having studs in the starting rotation, that'll probably keep them from being like a last-place team. But from a betting perspective, those guys tend to be overvalued, especially when they're starting for a team that doesn't have, a decent offense and doesn't have a top bullpen, right?
Right, exactly, yeah. I mean, there's guys that are going to have to come through, and they're going to have to find an answer, like at the top of the order. And last year, they got exposed at the bottom of the order, too, especially late in the season. Now, I think, though, that the change away from Dusty Baker is probably going to be a positive with Brian Price taking over as the manager. He's very well liked by the team. From all the early reports, he's very meticulous in terms of his process as to how he puts together, the different elements of the team to have them prepared. So that maybe can transition over, and maybe just the general attitude and closeness of the team could transfer into something more positive. But bottom line, the distance between Cincinnati and St. Louis seems to be widening.
All right, and what's your forecast in general for their bullpen? Last year, again, as I said, they were number 8 in terms of bullpen ERA. You think they'll be back in top 5, stick around top 10, or dip down to?
I think so. I mean, I don't think it'll be any worse than last year, and if anything better, again, because I think Sean Marshall is going to add a lot, getting him back to healthy, and then giving that other left-handed pitcher, in the 7th and 8th inning before you get to Chapman.
Okay, thanks so much, Doug Upstone.